Prologue. Walk toward the fire. Don't worry about being called a racist, a homophobe, a sociopath, a violent heteronormative xenophobe with fascistic impulses. They say all these things about you because they're keeping you inside the complex, forcing you to respond to their playbook. Andrew Breitbart. Before his untimely death in March 2012, I had the great fortune of being able to call Andrew Breitbart a close personal friend. I also had the profound honor to deliver his eulogy at his memorial service in Washington, D.C. Andrew had an instinct for where the battle should be fought and an intellect that informed him as to how. In the eulogy, I described him as Horatius at the Gate. Here is my favorite excerpt, as I delivered it, from the poem by Thomas Babington Macaulay. Then out spake brave Horatius, the captain of the gate, to every man upon this earth death cometh soon or late. And how can man die better than facing fearful odds for the ashes of his fathers and the temples of his God? Andrew Breitbart was a man who, in walking toward the fire, always walked point. Point is the one who takes the lead, sounds the warning, and makes it safer for those who come behind. In military combat, walking point takes keen instincts and steely physical courage. Lives are at stake. In political combat, walking point takes instincts and conviction, but little physical courage. There are risks, great risks, but no one has died from being stripped of a committee assignment, losing a primary, or getting canceled. I began my political career years before I met Andrew Breitbart. Although we had superficially little in common, he from Hollywood and I from Iowa, we clicked when we met. The reason was simple enough. We each believed to fight the corruption of our culture, you could not, in the memorable words of Barack Obama, lead from behind. You had to take point. Among the messages Andrew preached was this: telling the truth is fun. As the introductory quote suggests, however, Breitbart also knew telling the truth came at a cost. The cost part of the equation is more obvious than the benefit. It almost always is. They want to stop you in your tracks, said Andrew. In the following pages, you will get a real sense of just how costly it can be to speak honestly in a political environment that has little use for truth. But if you keep going, Andrew promised, if you tell them you can stop their verbal bullets and keep walking, you'll send messages to people who are rooting for you, who agree with you. The message I hope to send is this: their bullets aren't real, but the truth always is. Chapter 1. Running Risks. On the final weekend of May 2020, violent mobs of entitled young leftists, black and white, raged through the streets of nearly every major city in America, burning, looting, and defacing all vestiges of Western civilization they could get their hands on. Statues of Washington, Jefferson, Teddy Roosevelt, Christopher Columbus, Andrew Jackson, Robert E. Lee, and even Abraham Lincoln were tagged, toppled, or beheaded. In England, rioters went after the statues of Winston Churchill, George Washington, and anyone even remotely linked to the slave trade, no matter their other virtues or accomplishments. When the mobs toppled the statue of black abolitionist Frederick Douglass in Rochester, New York, everyone should have known the mobs were attacking Western civilization writ large. Not a single Democrat of note protested the madness. If anything, they sang the praises of these anarchists and their mindless acolytes. The Democrats were banking on the mayhem to fire up their base for the November elections. Few Republicans were speaking out with any measure of force or purpose. Most had long ago been cowed into submission, not by the voters, but by a hostile media and the leadership of their own party. If elected Republicans needed a reminder of the price they might pay for defending Western civilization, they got it on the Tuesday following this unhinged weekend of broken glass. With the full-throated support of the media and the Republican establishment, an off-the-shelf state senator named Randy Feenstra bested me in the Republican primary for an Iowa congressional seat I held since 2003. My crime? Warning my constituents and my colleagues that Western civilization was under assault. I was the Republicans' Czechoslovakia. GOP leaders figured if they just surrendered me and a few others to the left, they could appease the beast and hold on to their own seats. They had no more luck than Chamberlain did at Munich. The brown shirts were on the march.